A spokesperson for the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said today that Finland and Sweden's bids for NATO membership will only be possible if the two Nordic nations take specific concrete steps. Turkey has the right to veto a NATO's candidacy and has so far been the only one of the 13 NATO member states to voice objection to this planned enlargement of the alliance. Well, Ankara views both countries as being accommodating to Kurdish militant groups. Well, let's get more now from France 24's Dave Keating, who's standing by for us in Brussels. Dave, these Turkish objections come with a bit of a backstory, don't they? Just tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, this follows years of deteriorating relations between Turkey and the West under President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who has pursued an increasingly aggressive policy toward Western countries. And there are many people who question what Turkey is still doing in NATO. Many people believe it's a kind of Cold War relic and doesn't really reflect modern geopolitical realities. And so this kind of obstructionism is only going to increase those arguments. That being said, there is no question that Turkey can veto this accession. Such accessions require the unanimous consent of all NATO countries, and so Erdogan is in a very powerful position here. And so the thinking is that he is using this opportunity to go after several individuals that have been granted asylum in Sweden who he believes are linked to the PKK, the Kurdish separatist group, the group that he has cracked down on immensely at home. So the context of this is both geopolitical, because it reflects increasingly bad relations between Turkey and the West, but also domestic. The economy in Turkey right now is in tatters. The Turkish currency is in free fall, and Erdogan has elections coming up next year. And in the past, when elections are coming up in Turkey, Erdogan does like to pick fights with the West to show he's standing up for Turkey. So this may also be for domestic political consumption, because it certainly doesn't seem to be an actual objection to the geopolitics of Finland and Sweden joining. He's not saying that it might antagonize Russia or that this isn't the right time for expansion. Many Western countries see this PKK issue as being unrelated. Of course, Turkey says that NATO should be more helpful in their fight against who they perceive as terrorists. They have long grumbled that the West has not helped them in their fight with the Kurds. And so this is also about Turkey's kind of wanting to send a message, I think, to other NATO members, particularly the United States, who has also refused to extradite people that Erdogan has said is involved in terrorist activities.
Dave, in the last hour or so, the US President Joe Biden's been asked whether he thinks Sweden and Finland's membership accession will in fact happen. And his reply was, "I think we're going to be okay." I'm just wondering, are we expecting there to be any breakthroughs anytime soon?
Anytime soon, I'm not sure. The consensus opinion I'm hearing here from NATO ambassadors and people who work for NATO is they do expect this to be resolved eventually. And Finland and Sweden haven't been pushing back very hard on this idea that they should extradite Kurds. And so I think the thinking is that eventually Sweden and Finland are just going to give in and hand over whoever Turkey wants, because they don't really have much of a choice. But it's unclear if Turkey may then be emboldened to ask for more, because actually there have been suggestions that they could want even more than this particular Kurdish issue, and it could be other issues not even connected to asylum for people that Turkey believes are Kurdish separatist terrorists. So I think the thinking is eventually, but of course time is of the essence, this in-between time, in between when Sweden and Finland have asked for NATO membership but are not yet in the alliance and don't benefit from that mutual defense clause, is the most dangerous time for them. They do have security guarantees of other types from other countries, but certainly what they want this resolved fast, and the initial thinking was this would only take a couple months, and it just depends how long Turkey wants to drag this out. But the consensus thinking is, yes, eventually this will be resolved.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed for bringing us the latest there from Brussels. Dave Keating, thank you so much.